Steelers fans, brace yourselves, because this morning the NFL world just shook with a trade so massive, so unexpected, that it might completely redefine the trajectory of Pittsburgh's season heading into 2 mil-E. 25 as the sun came up. What was supposed to be just another regular off-season day turned into a roller coaster of emotions. For everyone following the black and gold, the Pittsburgh Steelers pulled the trigger on a blockbuster trade that not only sends shockwaves across the AFC, but also adds both firepower and flair to an already promising roster. The headline: Minkah Fitzpatrick, one of the most respected safeties in the league, is heading back to where his NFL journey began, the Miami Dolphins. And in return, oh boy, the return is wild. The Steelers are getting three-time All-Pro cornerback Jalen Ramsey and dynamic tight end Jonnu Smith, two players who are going to fit right into Arthur Smith's vision for a more physical, versatile football team. Let's talk about this piece by piece, because there's a lot to unpack. First off, Jalen Ramsey, one of the fiercest competitors at the cornerback position in recent memory. His energy, swagger, and elite coverage ability have made him a household name. Since he entered the league, the guy is a certified star. He's someone who brings championship DNA to any locker room, and now he's wearing the black and gold. But what makes this even more intriguing is that Ramsey has been flirting with a transition to safety for years now, with Minkah no longer in Pittsburgh. The door is wide open for that switch to happen. The Steelers still have Deshaun Elliott and Juan Thornhill, two capable safeties. But you better believe there's going to be some deep conversations inside that facility about how best to deploy Ramsey. He's played slot, he's locked down the outside, and he's smart enough to roam deep if that's what the scheme demands. One way or another, the Steelers just landed a game-changing presence in their secondary now. Onto Jonnu Smith. This addition might not have gotten the same immediate reaction as Ramsey's name popping up in the trade, but do not sleep on what Jonnu brings to the table. He's not just a tight end, he's a Swiss Army knife. Big, fast, strong, and dangerous with the ball in his hands. We've seen what Arthur Smith can do with Jonnu from their time together in Tennessee. This is a coach who knows exactly how to unlock that kind of athleticism. And now, reunited in Pittsburgh, expect the Steelers' offense to embrace a new identity. If you thought they were leaning into physical football before, this move confirms it. Pairing Jonnu Smith with Pat Freiermuth, who's more of a traditional possession tight end, gives the Steelers a dangerous one to punch at the position. You can expect a ton of 12 personnel looks, with both tight ends on the field causing matchup nightmares for opposing defenses. That's going to be the bread and butter for this team moving forward, and let's not ignore what this means. In the bigger picture, Pittsburgh is clearly leaning into a more old-school, smash-mouth philosophy, while the rest of the league is getting smaller, faster, more spread out. The Steelers are zagging while everyone else zigs. They're going heavy, they're going physical. They're building an offense designed to wear teams down over 4 quarters. With a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers now at the helm, who thrives in play action and rhythm throws, this personnel shift makes perfect sense. A strong run game, multiple tight ends, and a defense that can punish. That's the formula they're betting on now. The trade also came with some cap gymnastics. Minkah Fitzpatrick had a cap hit north of $20 million this year and over $24 million next year by sending him to Miami. Pittsburgh frees up significant space both this season and in the near future. Of course, they're taking on some salary with Jonnu Smith, who just signed a 1-year extension worth $12 million, but in the grand scheme, they're shifting resources from the secondary into a more balanced roster construction. It's a bold move, and it signals just how aggressive this front office is willing to be to get back into contention. As for Minkah, his departure does sting. There's no sugarcoating it. He's been a leader on and off the field, a student of the game, and someone who brought consistency to the back end of the defense. Even though his interception numbers dipped last season, that was more a result of quarterbacks avoiding his side of the field than any drop in performance. Opposing offenses respected him so much that they just stopped testing him altogether. That tells you everything you need to know about the level he's played at. But the Steelers, while acknowledging that loss, clearly feel that the addition of both Ramsey and Jonnu Smith brings more overall value and flexibility to the team. This trade didn't just come out of nowhere. There had been whispers about Ramsey possibly being on the move, and there were rumblings that the Steelers were in the market for another tight end. But the idea that all of these pieces would come together in one single, seismic deal, nobody saw that coming, and that's what makes it so exciting. this is not just a roster shuffle. This is a statement. The Steelers are all in. They're not waiting around for the rest of the AFC to pass them by. They're reshaping their identity in real time, and they're doing it with purpose. Now, from a tactical standpoint, what this means for Pittsburgh's offense is pretty fascinating. With both Jonnu Smith and Pat Freiermuth commanding significant salaries, you can expect the Steelers to live into tight end sets. That shifts the whole structure of the offense. It reduces the reliance on wide receivers beyond your top guy, which, in this case, is DK Metcalf. Calvin Austin III and Roman Wilson are still valuable pieces, but their snaps may be more situational now. The focus shifts to tight ends, play action, and a bruising ground game. That's Arthur Smith. Football. That's physical, methodical, disciplined offense designed to control the clock, punish defenders, and keep your own defense fresh. And speaking of defense, the chessboard just got a lot more interesting. You lose Minka, but you gain Ramsey, and potentially open up a whole new set of possibilities. Maybe you move Ramsey to safety full-time. Maybe he rotates between safety and nickel, depending on matchups. Maybe you bring in a veteran like Justin Simmons, who's still out there in free agency, to help anchor that secondary and let Ramsey focus on what he does best. There are options. The Steelers are not boxed in. In fact, this move gives them flexibility they didn't have before, and let's not forget how aggressive this makes the Steelers look compared to the rest of the AFC. While other teams are cautiously filling holes and waiting for the draft to develop their young players, Pittsburgh is making power moves in the heart of the offseason. They're going out and getting elite talent. They're stacking weapons. They're not afraid to part ways with beloved veterans if it means getting better right now. That kind of urgency is rare, and it sends a message not just to their fan base, but to the entire league. The Steelers are back in the mix. What's even more impressive is how seamlessly this fits into Arthur Smith's offensive philosophy. The man loves heavy sets, he loves power football, and now he's got the personnel to make that vision come to life. With a tight end duo that can both block and catch, a running game that's going to be pounding the rock behind them, and a quarterback who thrives when he's not being asked to throw 50 times a game. This offense is set up to be efficient, dangerous, and unpredictable. Everything looks the same pre-snap, but the options are endless post-snap. That's the kind of system that can thrive in the playoffs, especially in bad weather games and high-pressure moments. On top of that, you're bringing in leaders. Ramsey is vocal. He's intense. He's been to Super Bowls. He's not just a technician. He's a tone setter. Jonnu Smith brings experience, familiarity with the coaching staff, and a playmaking ability that gives Pittsburgh something they didn't have before. Both guys elevate the locker room. Both guys add a layer of professionalism and accountability. You want guys like that when you're trying to build a contender. And you can't overlook the impact this has on the younger players. Joey Porter Jr., Darius Rush, Roman Wilson. They all stand to benefit from having veterans like Ramsey and Jonnu in the building. This is how you build a culture. This is how you create a team that isn't just talented, but tough, prepared, and resilient. The Steelers aren't just adding names to a depth chart, they're adding pieces to a puzzle that, when it comes together, could be something really special. All of this makes one thing crystal clear: the Pittsburgh Steelers are pushing their chips to the center of the table. This isn't just a rebuild or a transition year. This is a full-throttle charge toward contention. The addition of Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith represents a shift, not only in personnel but in mindset. It's aggressive, it's strategic, and it's a reminder that the Steelers' front office isn't sitting around, waiting for things to fall into place. They're making things happen. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Could a seismic shift be on the horizon in Pittsburgh? Rumors have begun swirling around what would be one of the boldest trades in recent NFL memory. A straight-up deal sending defensive superstar T.J. Watt to Washington in exchange for wide receiver Terry McLaurin. While no official confirmations have come from either franchise, insiders close to both organizations hint that discussions have been ongoing and may have already reached an advanced stage. If true, the potential trade signals a dramatic shift in strategy for the Steelers, who have long been defined by their fearsome defense, a unit led for years by the relentless T.J. Watt. The former Defensive Player of the Year has been a cornerstone in Pittsburgh, terrorizing quarterbacks and setting the tone for a Steelers team that has leaned heavily on defensive dominance during the Mike Tomlin era. On the other side of the rumor deal, Terry McLaurin brings explosive offensive firepower to a franchise that has struggled to find consistency in its receiving cores. McLaurin, known for his precise route running and dependable hands, would immediately become the top target for quarterback Russell Wilson, who arrives in Pittsburgh seeking a career resurgence. Pairing the veteran QB with a legitimate one wide out could give the Steelers' offense the spark it's lacked in recent seasons. Still, trading away a franchise icon like Watt would not come without controversy. Steelers fans have flooded social media with disbelief and speculation, some questioning whether Pittsburgh is giving up too much of its defensive identity in pursuit of offensive balance. Others suggest that Watt may have hinted at frustration behind the scenes, possibly nudging the front office toward exploring alternatives. As for Washington, acquiring Watt would instantly elevate their defensive front and bring a veteran leader to a unit already brimming with young talent. The Commanders have struggled to find consistent edge pressure since parting with Chase Young, and Watt could fill that void in dramatic fashion. Whether this is smoke or fire remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: if this trade comes to fruition, it could reshape the balance of power in the AFC and send shockwaves throughout the NFL. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.